Hello, fellow travelers. If you're expecting neon lights and Elvis impersonators, you're in for a surprise. Today we're trading the glitz of Vegas for something far more grounded and meaningful. We're venturing deep into the heart of Amish country, where rolling green fields stretch as far as the eye can see, and the air is filled with the scent of fresh earth and wildflowers. Here, life moves at the gentle pace of a horse and buggy. There's a certain peace in watching the world go by at 4 miles an hour, a reminder to slow down and savor the moment. I came expecting to find world-famous craftsmanship and maybe sample a few legendary pies. But what I didn't expect was to stumble into one of the Amish community's most sacred and often misunderstood traditions, a wedding. Forget the frilly gowns, the towering cakes, and the champagne toasts. Amish weddings are practical, unadorned, and deeply rooted in faith, family, and community. Every detail, from the handmade dresses to the simple meals, reflects a commitment to humility and togetherness. Here, the wedding night isn't about cinematic romance or grand gestures. Instead, it's about laying the first quiet brick in a lifelong partnership, one built on trust, shared values, and a deep sense of belonging. My curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to know, what are Amish weddings really like? What do they celebrate, and what do they leave behind? The answers took me on a deep dive into tradition and made me rethink what it truly means to celebrate love. There's no glitz, no staged photos, no wild parties. Just a quiet dignity and a powerful sense of purpose. The entire community comes together, not just to witness, but to support and uplift the couple as they begin their new life. Preparations start early, with neighbors and relatives pitching in to cook, clean, and decorate. The sense of unity is palpable. Everyone has a role, and everyone's presence matters. So hitch up your imaginary buggy and join me as we go behind the scenes. Together, we'll peel back the myths and discover the true heart of Amish wedding traditions, where love is measured not in diamonds but in devotion. You might just find that the most romantic gesture isn't a dozen roses or a flashy proposal, but a shared silence at the end of a very long day, a promise quietly kept to walk through life side by side.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The wedding day in an Amish community begins quietly, long before the sun has fully risen. As the first light spills over the fields, the entire household is already awake, moving with purpose and anticipation. There's no fanfare, no elaborate decorations, and certainly no social media countdowns or last-minute beauty appointments. Instead, the day starts with a sense of calm and duty, rooted in tradition and faith. There's no brunch, no mimosas, and no trays of tiny canapes. The kitchen is filled with the aroma of hearty home-cooked food, simple casseroles, fresh bread, and preserves made months before. The focus is on nourishing the body for a long day ahead, not on impressing guests with gourmet bites. Instead of a hired staff or a wedding planner, it's the community that springs into action. Neighbors, relatives, and friends all pitch in, transforming barns and homes into spaces ready to welcome hundreds. The air is filled with laughter, the clatter of dishes, and the hum of conversation as everyone works together, each person knowing their role by heart. The ceremony itself takes place in the bride's family home, which is carefully cleared of furniture and filled with rows of plain wooden benches. It's a transformation that happens only for the most important occasions, and it's done with remarkable efficiency. Hundreds of guests, from neighboring farms and distant relatives, gather in this humble space, ready to witness a sacred union. The bride wears a new handmade dress, usually in shades of blue or purple, never white. This dress is sewn by her or her family, and it's not just for the wedding day. It will be worn again for church, for special occasions, and even for her burial, symbolizing the continuity of life and faith. The groom, too, marks the day with new clothing, a dark suit, simple and unadorned, and a fresh shave. This is a rite of passage, a visible sign that he is stepping into a new chapter of responsibility and partnership. The ceremony is long and deeply solemn, lasting several hours. There are no vows exchanged, no rings slipped onto fingers, and no dramatic I do's. Instead, the couple sits quietly, listening to sermons and prayers, responding with simple nods and words when called upon. The atmosphere is reverent, almost meditative. The focus is not on the couple's personal love story, but on their union as part of God's plan and the larger community. Marriage here is seen as a sacred duty, a partnership that serves faith, family, and the collective good. There's no jewelry exchanged. The Amish believe rings and adornments are unnecessary, even vain. Their commitment is not displayed through gold or diamonds, but through the presence and support of the entire community who bear witness to their promise. For outsiders, the stillness and simplicity can be striking. This is a wedding that feels less like a party and more like a sacred pact, a moment of deep spiritual significance, marked by humility and grace. Their marriage is a public pledge to faith, family, and tradition, lived out not in grand gestures, but in the quiet daily acts of service and devotion that define Amish life. Here, the proof of love isn't found in a sparkling ring or a lavish celebration, but in every shared chore, every challenge faced together, and every moment of quiet partnership that follows long after the wedding day ends. After the hours-long ceremony, there's no cocktail hour or fancy hors d'oeuvres. Here, the real celebration begins with the feast. The anticipation in the air is almost as thick as the aroma of home-cooked food drifting from the kitchen. Guests, some who have traveled from neighboring towns, gather around long wooden tables, ready to share in a meal that's as much about tradition as it is about taste. The wedding meal is a logistical marvel. Hundreds are fed in carefully organized shifts, with mountains of roasted chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, buttery noodles, and endless pies. The sheer scale is staggering. Platters are refilled as quickly as they're emptied, and the kitchen hums with activity. Every dish is made from scratch, using recipes passed down through generations, ensuring that each bite tastes like home. Preparations start days in advance, with women from the community working together in a symphony of efficiency. Potatoes are peeled by the bushel, chickens are roasted in batches, and dough is rolled out for pies and noodles. The kitchen becomes a hive of laughter, conversation, and the steady rhythm of practiced hands. There are no caterers, no outside help, just generations of expertise ensuring no one leaves hungry. Older women teach younger ones the secrets of perfect pie crusts and fluffy potatoes, passing on not just skills, but stories and values. The dessert table is legendary. Dozens of pies, cakes, and puddings, each lovingly made by hand. There's not a single towering wedding cake, but rather a spread that invites everyone to sample a little of everything, from tangy fruit pies to rich custards. The focus is on abundance and sharing, not on Instagram-worthy centerpieces or elaborate place settings. Dishes are passed from hand to hand, and laughter echoes across the tables as stories are swapped and friendships renewed. Cleanup is a communal effort, with everyone pitching in to restore the home. Young and old alike roll up their sleeves, washing dishes, clearing tables, and sweeping floors, turning what could be a chore into another moment of togetherness. A wedding here isn't just a party, it's a shared responsibility, a tangible expression of community values. Every guest contributes, whether by cooking, serving, or simply offering a kind word to the newlyweds. The day's success belongs to everyone, not just the couple. Each person's effort, no matter how small, is woven into the fabric of the celebration, making the joy collective and the memories lasting. In Amish culture, you are never alone. Every celebration is a collective act. The sense of belonging is palpable, as generations sit side by side, sharing food and stories that bind them together. The feast is less about indulgence and more about togetherness. It's a time to give thanks, to reconnect, and to celebrate not just a marriage, but the enduring strength of community. In the end, it's a powerful reminder that community is at the heart of every Amish wedding, a tradition where everyone has a place at the table and every meal is a celebration of unity. As night falls, don't expect a dance floor or a band. Dancing is forbidden. Instead, the evening is filled with hymns sung in four-part harmony, hauntingly beautiful and deeply spiritual. The younger guests play simple, wholesome games, word games, group activities, fostering laughter and fellowship. The focus is on strengthening social bonds, not on wild celebration. Conversations are purposeful, reinforcing the social fabric of the community. There's no grand exit for the couple, no confetti or sparklers. Guests depart quietly in their buggies, lanterns glowing on dark country roads. The celebration ends as it began, with order, simplicity, and a sense of peace. The party doesn't rage into the night. By a respectable hour, the house is quiet again. The focus shifts from community celebration to the couple's new beginning. In Amish weddings, joy is gentle, and the night ends with a sense of calm purpose. As the last guests leave, the bride and groom finally have a moment alone. There's no silk negligee or honeymoon suite, just a practical nightgown and a simple bedroom in the bride's family home. The room is modest, a wooden bed, a handmade quilt, and quiet. The atmosphere is stripped of distractions, designed for peace and reflection, not romance. The couple is likely exhausted, ending the day with a quiet conversation, a shared prayer, or simply silence. There's no script or expectation, just the beginning of a partnership built on faith and mutual respect. The wedding night isn't a grand event, but the first of many ordinary nights together. Here, love is measured in everyday commitment, not in spectacle. Let's clear up some myths. There are no bizarre rituals or family members present on the Amish wedding night. Privacy is respected. The night is a personal, sacred moment for the couple. The idea of a wild Rumspringa-style celebration is pure fiction. The wedding marks the end of Rumspringa and the start of adult responsibilities under the Ordnung. The couple's courtship was chaperoned, so the wedding night is a time of gentle discovery and quiet significance. There's no script, just faith and mutual support. Unlike the cinematic American wedding night, the Amish version is humble, awkward, and deeply human. It's a reminder that the foundation of marriage is built on quiet understanding, not a single night of passion. The true ritual of the Amish wedding night is a quiet transition, two people, finally alone, beginning their life together. There's no prescribed action, just the simple act of being together in a new way. They talk about hopes, fears, and the future, laying the groundwork for their partnership. Prayer is central. Together they ask for God's blessing, placing faith at the heart of their union. This shared moment of worship sets the tone for their marriage. The night is about beginnings, not endings, a humble start to a lifelong commitment. The lack of spectacle strips the moment to its essentials: two people, their faith, and a promise. The Amish wedding night teaches us that the strongest bonds are forged in quiet, steady moments. The morning after, there's no sleeping in or breakfast in bed. Chores await. The couple joins in cleaning up from the wedding, working alongside family and community. Their married life begins with service, not leisure. Instead of a honeymoon, they spend weekends visiting relatives, thanking them for gifts and strengthening family ties. This going visiting is their version of a honeymoon, practical, social, and community-focused. Each weekend is spent in someone else's home, surrounded by family. By the time they settle into their own home, they're fully integrated into the wider family network. In Amish life, every journey begins and ends with community. So what can we learn from Amish weddings? First, leave your assumptions behind. These are deeply personal, spiritual, and community-focused events. The power of community is everywhere, from the cooking to the cleanup. Weddings here reaffirm shared values and collective effort. If you visit Amish country, observe respectfully. These are not tourist attractions. The most profound lesson is a new definition of romance: quiet, steadfast, and built on shared faith. The Amish wedding night shows that love is measured in daily acts, not grand gestures. The promise of a lifetime together is the real romance. And that, my friends, is a place worth loving.